You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Catch A Contractor After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Catch A Contractor After Show.
You're listening to Hardware Store
by Weird Al.
Hey, great theme song for this. It's not the show's theme song, but we figured we'd open up with that. I am your host, Phil Svitek, joined alongside two contracting experts. A lot to live up to right there.
Damn.
We'll see how Skip thinks of you. John Comerford.
Yes.
And Steve Bottomley.
Hey, how you doing, Skip?
Should we give out your number at the bottom?
We're
so
not
people
licensed contractors, so
Not at all.
I would never profess
Here's the thing,
that.
you're better than most, I think.
Well, half of what I don't know about, I can't speak about Steve, but half of what I had to do was, I did a lot of contracting earlier in my youth, especially paying my way through college and afterwards and stuff like that. And a lot, I'd say about half of what I was doing was fixing other contractors' mistakes, even though I wasn't licensed. So.
You should have caught them as well.
Yeah,
half the fun is that.
I didn't have the infrastructure for that.
I see.
Well, one of the best things you can do is know when to step away.
Yeah.
And let somebody else step in that, I don't know, may be smarter than you, may have the skill set you don't have.
Yeah.
That was something Pedro learned.
Yeah, that's the beauty about being a general. You just go, hey, I don't do that. Just bring somebody else in.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yep.
Well, we're gonna have a mixture of one of the things that for me the show doesn't quite do enough of is really give advice to homeowners.
Yeah.
Buyer beware.
Yeah, buyer beware is the big one, right?
Yeah. But of course we'll talk about the comedy aspect of it. So tonight's episode 3, Hack of All Trades, of course, referring to Pedro.
Poor Pedro.
And so from what we gather, it's $18,000 worth of work for a boiler and a roof. From what we gather, there might have been some other thing.
Might have been, but that's how much they said they were out, 18 grand, which kind of surprises us.
There had to have been more.
There must have been other things that he either did or they had already finished or whatever, but these two were, these were the two jobs that he hadn't done well.
Well, what I'd like to know is, did he put the skylight in? Did he open up the roof?
That's what it looks like.
Or did he try to fix a skylight?
No, I didn't get that. I mean, what I got was that he actually put in the skylights, whether or not they were, or the roof was already open. I don't know, but apparently he put in the skylights because he had to go order the skylights, etc.
Right, that's right. He paid the glazier.
So for the boiler, let's talk about that real fast. What's the
for those of you in the West Coast, it's a water heater. For those on the East Coast, it's a boiler. So go ahead.
Okay, so for the boiler, what is a job like that? What should it cost? It doesn't seem like a lot.
Well, it depends. If he's just installing it, or if he's just doing the strapping on it. Let's say he's just had to do the strapping on it. That's an hour's worth of work. So whatever he charges an hour. But if he's installing it, I mean, they can run anywhere from $200 to $600, depending on what he has to do.
Okay, that gets us closer to $18,000.
Yeah, real close.
The outside to drop a water heater in that open area, he's not going up and down stairs. He doesn't have to, dig anything out. I'm saying the outside cost, and this is like if the guy is wearing a tux, it would be maybe $1,000, maybe $1,000. But if his job was to just strap that thing down when he was done. You're right. It's an hour.
Yeah.
And like a lot of places will throw that in, just let them do the install. Yeah, we'll supply the straps.
Yeah.
You can't get around it. Well, you can if you're Pedro, but illegally you're supposed to have it strapped.
Even on the outside, let's say it costs $1,000 or whatever, which I don't know how I wouldn't charge $1,000 to do that. But anyway, let's just say we charge $1,000. So that's 17 grand we're still looking
Those
at.
were really expensive skylights.
I know.
Because, there are 3 of them.
And it was $6,400 he charged them, or 48, or what was it, 45 for the actual glass, and he upped the charge to 64.
Okay, but let me say, there does come a time where you have to look at the homeowner and go, dude, what does the invoice say? Is anybody going, I don't remember seeing you here doing that $3,000 worth of work. I mean, it's okay to talk to the guy doing the work and say, you got to sharpen your pencil or explain to me these prices. I'm lost. Talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old.
I don't think there's anything wrong with an upcharge. If Pedro did all the work to, did the research on where to get these, he's the guy that went out and got them, he did all that, then yeah, he deserves time and money for that because that's his time and his expertise. But if you just up the charge just cause, you can always call that to question. Some contractors are going to do that, some aren't.
I mean, it's certainly, starting right off the bat, it doesn't look like they interviewed a lot of people.
No, but they really liked this guy. He did other things. They liked him, and they went with him.
And to be fair, there is a lot of faith and trust that's required if you're going to let somebody actually work on your home, open stuff up, and that sort of thing. So that kind of does go a long way in a good...
But yeah,
I'm not going to say scammer, but somebody that's able to push the limits can utilize that to his favor.
But that's why you never give everything up front.
No.
When you're doing it, you always hold something back.
Oh, my God. You never pay everything off at the front, ever.
Yeah.
Even if you come into extra money, you hold on to it.
And they've talked about that in every episode. You never want to give it 100% up. But,
just materials.
Yeah, and it's all different. Contractors do it differently, and you can negotiate whatever you want. Sometimes it's half up and half when it's finished. Sometimes it's a third. There's all different things you can do that you're comfortable with. They're always going to require something up front to buy materials. Rightly so. They shouldn't be out of pocket. But if you always hold something back, then they don't get paid till it's done right, which is the way they should be done. So for anybody who's doing contracting or anybody who needs a contractor, don't ever give everything up front.
But here's even with that, there seems to be an inherent problem here on this show where, like, even if, let's say, I gave half of it.
Right.
The guy's so good that he's going to scam me for that half anyway and run out. You know what I mean? So, like, let's say if we're talking about 18,000, 9,000 isn't a bad payday. If I just
true.
I'll be back tomorrow.
Absolutely, that's possible.
Right. You can always have that situation where, but I paid you half. Yeah, but I need more. I can't keep going until I get more. Well, I don't want to pay you until you get done. Well, now you're just locked in a situation.
Yeah, and that's why there's a contract. You don't get more. I mean, you get more when a certain amount of job is done. And if so you can write all those things into the contract.
But I think most contractors of this ilk know that, okay, the homeowner is going to have to go to court.
Yeah.
He's going to have to get a judgment. He's going to have to hunt me down. Then he's going to, even if he hunts me down, then he has to do the follow-up. And the onus is on the homeowner.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of work as opposed to just, marking it up to lesson learned. I'm not going to do that again. Yeah. So I think most of these type of guys will just play the odds and say, they're not going to come after me. And, what I think a lot of these guys don't realize is that whole idea of, look, they're going to tell maybe 2 or 3 people? No, not anymore.
Not anymore. Yeah.
It's, it's internet. It's shows like this. It's like, you screw up, it can be all over the place. Angie's List, all those places.
Yelp.
Yeah. I mean, it always amazes me, and Adam actually talks about this on his podcast, is, if you're a good contractor, there may be droughts for you here and there, but overall, you're going to be working.
Because everybody needs a good contractor.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. That's absolutely true.
So.
And if you're bad, and that's the other thing. A lot of times, if you're the homeowner, you don't want to go, oh my God, I got so screwed by this guy, let me tell you about it. Because you look like an idiot. You're just going, it didn't work out, I can't recommend him. But you're not going to say, look, stay away from this guy, he's horrible. But if you have someone good, you got to use this guy.
Yeah.
So he's still going to fly under the radar.
So I guess let's talk about the sting.
The sting.
It's again, I love these sort of. By the way, I love Adam saying, like, hey, he's going to do one of 3 things. He's either going to fix it, he's going to give the money back, or we're going to take him to court. If he doesn't go to court, we'll see him in hell.
See him in hell.
So and even Skip's kind of opening up comedic wise. I think Adam's rubbing off on him.
Yeah, I
a
hope
little
so, because I like because the way Skip looks, you just wanted to go to
Yeah.
task and everything. But it's kind of fun to see him let loose.
Yeah, they got the good cop, bad cop down.
Yeah.
At the sting when they got Pedro on the table, and again, a great line. I know you. Finally. He's finally recognized from the Man Show.
Yeah.
What happened to Jimmy? The good cop, bad cop, but Skip with his arms and his tats, and it's just, I'd be intimidated by that. But I think the problem there was they didn't intimidate Pedro.
Or at least they didn't look like it did. I mean, like you said, it looked like he does yoga or whatever. He's just calm and cool, collected.
Yeah, he didn't seem like, oh, this. I guess maybe he's used to
Yeah,
this.
but the other thing is, did you see the volume of people that were waiting, and they're all looking at the screens and stuff?
I mean,
before
they
did the
had
sting?
they had a bodyguard. Once they got him,
know.
they had a bodyguard in each
I know.
entryway.
It's like, what are you gonna do? I mean, you're surrounded, and you got all these cameras. It's like,
I swear.
okay, I'll just see how this plays out because I'm not looking like I can get out of here. So.
NASA used less people to get someone on the moon than
To be
people in
fa-
that control room.
To his advantage, he looked like he didn't speak good English, so he could have used that to his advantage.
Yeah.
I think he spoke it well enough. He certainly understood the issues. He understood the jokes. He understood the nuance of Skip saying you suck.
The nuance of it, yes.
But yeah, you can always hide behind that a little bit. Sure, I would.
I mean, that's just, to me, that's what it certainly seemed like. And, I don't know, sometimes, I think as Skip and Adam are getting better at this, I think they're breaking these. It's tough to break these guys because, when you look at a show like Bar Rescue, most of the guys want to be helped.
Right.
Even though a lot of times they are resilient to it. These guys, again, they have a different agenda. They didn't want to be caught.
Yeah.
And so how do you break through to them?
Yeah. The last thing they want to do is admit a mistake, especially in front of a camera or anything, because they could be held liable. All things could happen. So.
Yeah, there really is just a couple of elements that you can go after. You can go after guilt, or you can go after intimidation. I mean, there's no real physical harm on this job. And they could spend all day saying, look what could have happened, look what could have happened, but that's not really going to register to this guy. Yeah. So, it'll be interesting to see if they do have a job where there was physical harm or where something serious did happen, how are they going to approach the guy with that? But this one, I think they just went with guilt. Like, come on, dude, you should have done better, and you suck, and let's get it fixed.
Well, before we get to the fixing, we're going to be, let me tell you about a show that also involves chasing, called Chasing Maria Menounos. And Marissa, go ahead and roll that clip.
Tuesdays on Oxygen.
I'm Maria Menounos, and my life can get a little crazy. I host Extra. I'm an actor, producer, dancer, wrestler, and a lot of other things. I live with Kevin, my boyfriend of 15 years. Do you really love me?
I would say that I'm in serious like.
And my parents. Yep, I just said I live with my parents.
You drive me crazy.
You drive me crazy. My parents want us to get married.
You both love each other. Get married.
Kevin and I don't. I am going to get married when I want to get married. I think I want kids. Kevin definitely doesn't want them now.
This is being pushed on us.
And of course, my parents wanted them yesterday.
This year, you gotta have it.
And I have a house full of people counting on me financially. If I take my eye off the ball, everything can fall apart.
It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks or wants us to do. It's what we want to do.
Everyone thinks that they know what's best for me, but I'm really the only one. I have got to figure things out.
Chasing Maria Menounos is so new. Every Tuesday at 10, 9 Central, starting March 18, only on Oxygen.
And we're back to Catch a Contractor. So in talking about the, I guess not the remodel, the fix.
The fix.
Yeah, let's call it that.
Yeah.
He'd never worn a belt.
Well, it looks like that. Yeah, I mean, he certainly didn't put one on with any
I
kind
got
of...
one for Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, how long you been doing this?
It was an interesting shot. It was an interesting shot.
Okay, so they had the double stick tape.
Yeah, just holding up some flashing or attempting to hold up some flash.
So what's the tiers of like stickiness you should like attempt before even going to double stick tape?
Well, yeah, you shouldn't even use stickiness anyway. I mean, on the way you flash it, there isn't really. I mean, sure, there's caulking and everything, but if a skylight that's made correctly, you don't need to use any double stick tape.
So what do you use?
Well, usually the glass is all glazed in with sealants are already provided for you if you buy them correctly, and then you just flash around them, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, the system that they were putting in had got the rubber grommet, and then you put your paint in, and there's a system that sits on top of that.
Yeah.
It's designed so that the water doesn't accumulate. Water has
Sheds
somewhere
off.
to go. It
Yeah.
sheds off. And when you do something like that, you have no argument.
Yeah.
You really don't.
Which is why, if I'm a contractor, I want to buy a skylight that's already factory sealed. Because it's, first of all, it's done at a factory, and it's probably, in terms of doing it on the job or doing it in a factory, you have much more quality control on a factory. I'd much rather have their warranty on it than a job site warranty on whether or not it's sealed properly. So
Absolutely.
As a contractor, I don't know why you'd ever want to seal it on site anyway. That's just asking for trouble.
No.
Cheaper? Is that
Well,
could that be a reason?
Probably, but not in the long run, because those are more likely to fail. And once the job is done, the last thing you want to do is go back.
More money.
Yeah, but you're just losing money at that point.
Because the one thing they didn't address is the internal damage. I mean, that was sitting in exposed wood and painted wood and all kinds of stuff. That, and they were showing how the water was dripping down onto her quite portable desk, but, whatever. And, I was really curious about, well, who's picking up the tab for, fixing the inside?
Yeah.
In the water stains and the swelling.
They talked about when the three of them were standing up. Were they talking about the structural integrity of the roof at that point, or no? What was that?
When they were on the roof?
Yeah, because they kept saying, "Oh, we're just 700 pounds worth of men on here. That's no big deal."
Well, because honestly, it was odd because the way I was looking at the roof, I didn't really get a great look at it. But I'm going, I didn't even think those things were, 16 on center, those rafters. I'm not exactly sure what those things were, but it looked wider than that. And I'm going, I think this is understructured. What are they? And then, of course, they have these glass panes. That's the only thing there. I would have been weirded out about that because it did look understructured. But again, I didn't get a great look at it, so who knows?
The other thing that they didn't talk about is whether or not this was actually inspected by the city. And it should have been. It absolutely should have been. And there's a good reason for it. I'm pretty sure an inspector would have said, you can't do this. You can't do it this way. So again, kind of...
Yeah, but I'm sure they didn't pull a permit. That's for sure.
Right,
Yeah.
because God forbid you have the city, tell you the right way to do it. So, again, it's something, good show, but a lot of times you got to look at the homeowners a little bit and go, look, I think you were trying to do it in a way to save money, and you ended up spending a hell of a lot more because you didn't
2 years worth of your life. Just forget the money.
Exactly, 2 years,
right.
man.
But had you done it the right way, the inspector would have come out and said, no, here's what you're going to need to do. You're going to make sure, they would have laid it out that you wouldn't have had this problem.
Yeah, and of course, Pedro wouldn't have been able to get away with it either.
And there wouldn't have been a show.
Yeah.
So there you go.
But I mean, if it wasn't Pedro, again, there's no shortage of these guys.
No,
God,
absolutely.
No. Oh God, no.
Sweet dead cat.
Yeah. But so they all work together.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: they have to under his supervision because they have to make sure that it gets done right.
Yeah.
And Pedro, he couldn't do it right.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I don't think he's aware of the code. Whatever the building code is for what he's stealing.
Even if he was aware, I don't think he knows what
exactly.
to do.
Yeah,
You cared. But so we got to see where Adam was during it. Adam was throwing out the zingers. What was your favorite?
Oh, geez, that was great. So this is how he's talking to Pedro. He's going, look, so this is how it's done right. Does that hurt you? Does it hurt you to see things done right? Is it like Count Dracula and the light?
So you have Adam.
Great.
I'd like to know what the conversation was with Skip. I want to know if he's like just pissed. I want to know if he's like trying to teach the guy. I want to, that really to me is the interesting part. That's the guy that really has to deal with this.
Yeah, here's because Skip he did get pissed and he walked away or whatever. But it's if I'm Skip and I'm on the site, I'm going. I just don't understand the contractor Pedro in this instance where you're going. Look, it's obviously not right. I mean, whatever your excuse is, the fact that skylight is leaking like a sieve, I don't know how you could feel good about that at all because it just makes you look horrible. So I don't know why anybody just holds out to this idea like, oh, no, I'm not going to admit anything. Why don't you just say, you know what? That sucks. Let me fix it. I don't know why there's even why anybody holds out.
I mean, because like last episode with Avi, right? The dog took it.
Right, the dog took it. Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
And so you can blame it on, because it's been 2 years. You could be like, well, that wasn't me. They took my stuff out and they put in the double stick tape. They're stupid.
Yeah.
I know. And
especially with the evidence right in front of you, though. Okay. How do you double stick tape? Really? Honestly?
I mean, do you guys really believe him that he's never going to take a roofing job?
No. I mean, it seems like he'll take whatever he can get.
I think his truck is going to say "as seen on TV" at this point. I think he's going to utilize it as, and then they have the reconciliation at the end.
Yeah.
Which, didn't send me over the top.
No, it's never a reconciliation because the homeowner's still so pissed. It could never be. And with every
someone's gonna
right
get
to be.
punched one of these
That's what I
times.
think. It was like, thank God Skip's there. Well, actually, no, because I think Skip may be the one to punch somebody every once in a while. So.
I would say you want reconciliation. You get Pedro in one of those big sumo outfits, and you let the homeowner just punch the crap out of him for and just that's the end.
I think you earthquake strap him to the wall.
You
That's
do
what you
something just to get because you're talking about what 2 years and 18 grand and this is it. There's got to be something.
But
else in
their fallback is
reconciliation.
always, well, they ran out of money, so I couldn't finish. And yet they bid the job out to begin with. So if you didn't bid the job out right,
because you charged them 18 grand.
Exactly. So
nuts.
I mean, there it goes. So yeah, all in all, a really good episode. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to more of these. Skip and Adam are great though. I really like them a lot.
I really think Skip's gonna blow a gasket one week though.
Yeah, I hope they kind of now that you know what the layout is. I don't think they're gonna need to spend quite as much time with the family and all that sort of stuff because my guess is everyone's gonna have the same complaint.
Yeah.
I think if you go more into the meat of like, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do this? Put
them on the. You want their feet to the fire more.
A little bit more. And I think that's where the meat of
you
the
like
show
you like
is.
seeing them squirm.
I
don't
do.
know about you guys, but every time they do the the sting and stuff like that, I do get a little I get a little nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you just liking it like
I liked Avi because he was different. He arrived early because most of these guys arrive late. And they're just dirtbags and whatnot. But Avi
caught him off guard.
Yeah. So I want to see kind of variations of different things.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I would like to, like you had mentioned it earlier, Phil, that you'd like to see more of them showing how the right way to do things. And I think they should. I think they have time to do that. But it would be good to see it every once in a while because, I think for the most part, the audience would like to know. It's like, okay, well, how do you do that?
Yeah, because you're not teaching me how to catch a contractor.
Yeah.
You just are.
And it's not like that. Most people are going to go out and do it. Now that you showed me, I'll do it myself. No, at least they'll know what to ask or what to look for so that it doesn't happen to them.
For instance, the strapping. They could have easily said, look, this should take you an hour, and the average cost is,
strap it to the studs.
Yeah, put it in reference so and you charge them, $3 grand for this. Break it down so that when people are looking at a new water heater or whatever, they've got a reference. And the other thing that they might think about is if you've got this guy in, instead of jumping right to the sting. Let him bid on some stuff. Let's see the charm. Let's see, how these.
Let's see how he does it. See how they got snookered in the first test.
Snookered in.
Okay.
Set the stage a little bit so that you at
I
least you
like
can
that.
empathize with the family.
So let the line out a little bit before you set
little bit, and then suck it and just whacking.
That's good.
Now that they've all been filmed, so that will really help.
Yeah, exactly. That would be kind of fun though.
I actually do like that could actually make it an hour show.
Because I would love to see Pedro go, no, let me tell you how this is done, and have him show you. Well, other contractors will do it this way, but this is how I'd like to see how.
And it'd be fun, and that's how you lure them in with the money. Like,
exactly,
hey, so the job's gonna be $7,000. Okay, can you come by tomorrow and I'll have the $7,000 for you?
Got it. Do I need to pay all that up front, or can I? See how he handles all that. That would be kind of fun.
You've got Skip and Adam in the next room saying, "What's he talking about? There's no way you would do it that way." I mean, you're getting more.
You could have
an
earbud, so Allison.
Absolutely. You don't need the whole, everybody in one room.
That'd be nice.
Set them up.
Yeah.
Why the hell not?
Give them a call.
Catch a predator. Contractor.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Just on a different note, I love the contractors that say, "Hey, it's gonna take a week," and then 4 months later,
I know,
dude.
Yeah.
But they're working there every day.
Yeah.
Dude,
but
really?
again, and then that's part of the contract. If you get it done by a certain date, then you get not only your money. Sometimes you give them a bonus. If you don't have it done by a certain date, then they get penalized.
Yeah. So,
and the other thing is, as soon as they get the job, they'll be looking for another one. They have to. And usually it's all the subs come in and they stop in at the end of the day to see what's going on. Mm-hmm. A good contractor will do a lot of the work on site because he wants to keep an eye on the subs, and that's where he's making his money. Yeah. But it's always worth the money to just go ahead and pay for a good job once.
Yeah.
but it doesn't make for a good show. So
yeah, it's true.
Well, there's going to be plenty of shows coming up. Thank you guys for joining us today.
Phil.
Hey, if you have any questions about contracting your home, let us know.
Or tell us about your nightmares.
That too. Hey,
your contracting nightmare.
Go to AfterBuzz TV, rate, comment there, YouTube, iTunes, everywhere where we are. There's a comment box just for you, so go right ahead. And hey, if there's a rating, slap on the highest rating you can. Most oftentimes it tends to be a 5, so we'll take a 5. And also tell a friend, we'll continue to try to drop in nuggets as we can each episode based on each episode. And so, hopefully you'll learn something.
Hey, if you've got an idea for a new opening song for us too, something tool or contractor or construction related.
Tool as in a utility tool.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can catch these guys on the Justified podcast, also on AfterBuzz TV. You can catch John on Anatomy of a Movie.
As well as Phil.
And Steve and John, you can catch them at a construction site. Sometimes. Anyway, anything else you guys would like to pull over?
No, that's very good.
See you next time.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.